you can see him on different projects over the years. I think that, and he's a Leo, so his birthday's coming up.
Thank you, Leo.
That's hard to follow. I have no one to introduce me. So my name is Che Jim. I am a creator. I'm an actor. I'm also a comedian. Yeah, I've been doing this for the last 4 years. Got it started during the COVID, like a lot of people, and been doing that. I've been in a couple movies here and there. Nothing too crazy, and so there you go.
Nothing too crazy. Hi, my name's Pizzolato. I'm an actress, a model, I model for Guess. And then I also do content creation. Most people know me as Beauty and Brains with a twist. We'll get a little bit into that, but I do a little bit of everything, and that's mainly what I post about, just genuine, being myself. So yeah, that's me.
Hi everyone, my name is Robert Lucas. So I am a self-taught cake artist. So I've only been doing it for about 5 years, and in those 5 years, I kind of taught myself how to make these amazing creations that honestly you would think I was doing it for I don't know how long. So I'm really proud of myself for that. But and I've also been able to work my way up to actually doing network television shows and doing cake artistry with that. Yeah, just go out sweet and thank.
Woo! Amazing. Well, I'm very excited to hear more about all your careers. Where I'd like to start is with a bit of maybe anecdotes and story. I'd love to hear about what you would say is your favorite work experience with the studio so far. And just what that was like, how it began, and what it meant to you. Robert, would you want to start?
I think my favorite experience was actually going to set, but getting to do what I normally would do. So it was really reality. And sometimes reality isn't actual reality, but this show was actually reality. So I got to be myself. I didn't have to put on a facade. I didn't have to pretend to be someone else in order to do the part that I was asked to do. So that was my favorite thing about it, that it made me feel really comfortable to do something that I already like doing.
What was the show?
Nailed It on Netflix. Yeah.
Because you nailed it.
It's
Right. My favorite studio working, just show actress thing ever has to be Mythbusters. I was one of the Mythbusters on Mythbusters Jr. It's my favorite TV show ever, and my co-host Adam Savage was absolutely incredible. We did that with Discovery Channel, Beyond Productions, and it's just like a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. I did that when I was 14, now I'm 20. And so basically, like all of my co-hosts, we grew up together, and we are the nerdiest people on the planet, and I love them to death. And so that definitely has to be my favorite memory ever.
I would say for me, so a few years ago I worked on a movie. It's called On Sacred Ground. It was a movie that was based on an experience that I was actually a part of. It's actually based on a story about the Dakota Access Pipeline that was up in North Dakota and whatever. As an indigenous person, I was there. And so I got to go there and be part of that. And so when that movie was being filmed and they cast me for that role, I didn't have to act, it was real. So like that, for me, that was really special, to be able to contribute and continue the legacy of the story of that story of Indigenous history, and I got to be a part of it. It was awesome. I got to work with some really great people too. I got to meet David Arquette, Mariel Hemingway, Francis Fisher, some really incredible people from Hollywood, and I learned a ton about that. But that was probably my favorite one so far.
Awesome. My favorite experience was probably my first series regular was a show called Merry Happy Whatever on Netflix, and it starred Dennis Quaid, Ashley Tisdale, and Brent Bourne, Bridget Mendler, a bunch of. It was just a great cast, and it was the first time I really felt like part of the family and part of the cast of a show from the beginning. And then on the digital side, I did a show called New Amsterdam. And Sony ended up partnering with me, and we did some like Instagram videos to promote the episodes, and so that was a really fun experience too.
My favorite thing was I did a show called This Fool on Hulu. Thank you. I'm not canceled. What we got? That was my favorite because they gave me a lot of freedom. I was playing a character that I already kind of do online, so they gave me a lot of room to play around, and I think it was just like the perfect size for me being so new at it, and everybody was so nice and so family oriented. So yeah, it was. I'll wait. No, yeah, so I think that was the perfect first thing for me to do because of that freedom. It was really nice.
That's amazing. So it's awesome to hear about all these professional experiences that you've had in Hollywood and the entertainment industry. I'm curious about your insight into both these worlds now, right? Because you're all professionals in the creative world that's increasingly becoming more formalized and becoming its own multi-billion-dollar business, but you have a hand in the other pot as well. So I'm curious, what, in your view, are the differences between traditional entertainment and this growing creator entertainment industry? What most stands out, and also what are some similarities that you've noticed? And anyone can answer.
I mean, I always talk about how I really feel like right now we're at an inflection point in Hollywood, and that line between the digital space and the traditional space is being blurred. I think obviously we all know about Hollywood contracting a great deal. They're making less movies, they're making less TV shows, and you know, there's a lot of people from Hollywood trying to make their way into the digital space and vice versa. And what I really think is there's going to be less and less of a distinction between the two. And I think we're only, I've said this before, I think we're only a little while away from someone like, you know, Seth Rogen starting a YouTube channel and saying, hey, if you want to watch my next series, I'm actually going to distribute it on my YouTube channel, so subscribe to me there. They'll do it, they'll fund it with brand partners. They'll probably have like 2 weeks where people can pay $5 to watch it early. And we'll see this more direct to consumer from the artist model that obviously thrive in the digital space, but I think we'll start to cross over, and that's how we'll see those two sides merge.
For me, working with Mythbusters and starting out with that, let me tell you, I was just that girl in school who was doing science fair, I was doing my normal everyday life. I knew I wanted to be a model, I was super tall, and I had some aspirations to become a creator, but I didn't know where to start. And so I just started doing my thing. I started posting a little bit to YouTube. I would just do like little car maintenance or like building a deck, whatever, not expecting this to go anywhere. And content creation, that little tiny like YouTube video, and me going on the news and talking about my little science inventions got me into Mythbusters. So I think the distinction between content creation and being on your own show or on a movie is so insane, because basically content creation is like your diary. You know, it's basically your portfolio, and like you are creating sweet treats, and Netflix is picking up a show for you on sweet treats. So, you know, like, if you are good at something, I'd recommend going for it and putting it out on social media, because you never know what studio or what production is looking for you, and if they look that up on YouTube or Instagram or whatever, girl that's doing this, and girl that's doing this, or dude that's doing this, bam, you're on the next show. So I feel like it has a very distinctive thing between the two, you know?
Yeah, I want to follow up on that. I was actually at VidCon in 2022. I was actually here when I got a email about a Zoom link to join a production company meeting. And it was actually about doing the show. And I didn't have to audition because my portfolio, which was what I did on social media, they had already looked at it and they knew, they liked what they saw, so they already knew I was who they wanted. So it was kind of like, yeah, everything that I put out there, that is your portfolio. So you always be mindful of that, and always put your best work out there, and that really will work out for you.
Really. Also makes me curious, obviously earlier this year, Hollywood saw a major historic double strike, fighting for you know, regulations and updates that were much needed. I'm curious how, if at all, that impacted your careers being on both sides of things.
No, go for it. Go for it.
Well, I was going to say, well, for me, and I've known a lot of creators, it impacts it because of like, a lot of creators do depend on brand deals and partnerships to fund their content. And a lot of people just couldn't work with those different types of brands because it would kind of be supporting the strike when everyone was trying to be in support of it. So it's a lot of things you had to fall back from and couldn't really do because of that.
I mean, you as a creator did not want to stand on the side of the studios when.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I think brand deals with Amazon, Hulu, Netflix of the world, or any of the studios, Paramount, Sony, etc. Those were just off the table all of a sudden. And I think that accounted for 25 or 30% of the deals we were doing at the time. So obviously that greatly impacted everything, but obviously, you know, especially as an actor, it was super important for me to be on the side of the unions. And then obviously as an actor, everything had totally stopped. And I think it goes back to what we were talking about before. It's why there's this sentiment about going direct to consumer in Hollywood, because, you know, we're sort of at the mercy of these enormous, gigantic systems allowing us to do what we want to do.
Cool. So one thing that's interesting, I think, about digital talent is you all have very ridiculously built these brands and images around yourselves. So I'm curious, as you go into proper Hollywood entertainment things, is there ever a tension between what your new collaborators on set might want from you versus what is your own brand and your own creative vision? And how do you navigate that that tension that might exist? Chay, I'd love to hear from you.
Yeah, you know, I've been approached by many brands and organizations or whatever that want to do collaborations with myself, and you know, I guess my demographic is very niche. Right? Again, I'm an indigenous comedian, right? So it's very specific to indigenous people for the most part. Now, there is some room for intersectionality there a little bit, but for the most part, that's my demographic. And so, but being an indigenous person, being a person of color, being a part of the history of indigenous people in this country, it's important that we have accurate representation. It's important that we have a lot of cultural awareness that are brought to these types of things, and that's not always what people want, or that they're very, like, there's a misinterpretation of what that looks like. And so it has absolutely, and many times I've gone through something and seen it off, like, you know, I just don't feel like they've done their homework yet, right? And it's not really my responsibility always to provide them that answer, or provide them an out. It's like, hey, you need to go do this. They come back. Like, I'm not going to do that, right? I can say my piece and then leave, which is basically what I do. I'm like, yeah, no, you need to do this. Okay, bye. But I'm not going to provide you what that looks like, right? As something that, and we're still navigating that, and we're still figuring that out. But again, I know for me personally, yeah, it's absolutely played a huge part in that. And but I've also, on the contrary, I've had a lot of great opportunities from other people who have done those types of things, people who are wanting to provide or have done that homework and stuff like that. And it's been incredible. So it works a little bit of both ways, but I know for me personally, there is a little bit of a heightened awareness on that, just because of who I am, where I come from, but yeah.
I kind of have a different take on that. So when it comes to being a content creator or an actor and actress, there's a distinct difference that most people see. You know, you see these people on the screen, you see these people in the studios, whatever, and then you see these people on the phone. And so what I've experienced is, let's say I just filmed a movie in New Hampshire, it's called Round the Decay, and they found me, they didn't do an audition, and they wanted a tall, lanky female to create like a monster, and I'm called the Rexel, and it's a horror film, whatever. But some production companies, some studios are just like, she's a content creator. Will she actually put forth like what we want is, you know, because content creators are your own directors. You create your own content, you do your thing, you edit, you like the way you like, and so you never know if a studio or whoever is creating this movie or TV show is going to like what you are going to put forth, you know? So it's just a different perspective to where it's like, are you specifically a content creator, or are you a content creator trying to get into the acting space? It's just, you know, like, you have to be very flexible when it comes to things. You can't just be that niche and that niche only, and if a Netflix show or whatever wants to pick you up, you have a specific way of doing it. You have to be super flexible and navigate through that space.
Okay. I think this ties into a question, well, where we'll see if there's anyone that has experience, but has anyone had without mentioning any names if you don't want to, a negative experience with the studio, where maybe they brought you on for something you didn't expect or anything like that? Could mention names too, it could make it more fun, but any examples like that?
I got an easy one. I'm a super tall female. So sometimes when they cast me, they literally don't ask my height. And then I'll get in there and they're like, oh, okay, go. I'm like, wow, okay, what were you expecting? And they're like, yeah, we needed like a 5 or 2. I'm like, okay, I gotta go. I gotta go. So yeah, sometimes, yeah, they do cast wrong and sometimes they just reject. But that's on them.
You guys know this?
Everything's been great for me.
Okay, I want to move into some advice that we can give creators that might want to work, have careers like you all do as both creators and people working in entertainment. And first thing I'd have there is, with all the experience you all have, what do you all think studios are looking for from creators right now? And what kind of creators are looking to collaborate with, do you think? Do you have on this?
Yeah, I kind of going off of what Rachel said earlier, I think like I've always, pretty early on since I started making the content, I always kind of looked at my profile as my catalog, as my menu. Yeah, I always really just wanted to make like 5 or 6 different types of characters, because I think my mindset has always just been like if a producer happens to be watching, I want them to see that I and maybe I think some people disagree. Some people I think have like a niche, but I've always just wanted to do just different types of things, because I also just like I've always been a fan of SNL and Mad TV and like those types of like Key and Peele, and so I really want to show a variety of stuff, and so I think that's what I've tried to do is just kind of make it a menu and show like I can do this, or maybe hopefully you can see that if there's something that you do want to see. Sorry, I'm posing for the picture. That I hope you can see I might be able to do it. And I think I've been lucky because the few things that we've been able to be a part of, the productions, have been from that, where they just call you in for an audition, or as Rachel mentioned, just be offered something based on what they know. And it's super hard. It was super hard for me because I think I'd never done it. I never studied acting, and so it was really tough. In the latest Netflix movie that I was a part of a few months ago, because it was such a much bigger thing than the Hulu show, that I did not know how. I was like, I don't even know what to do with my face. Like, I didn't learn this. It was just like, I was like, oh my gosh, like, this isn't a green screen. Like, this is like a whole, like, there's someone across from me, like, Keanu Reeves. And so it was just, yeah, it was just, it's a lot. But I think once you get in there, I think for me, like, I realized this is really what I always wanted to do. I was just too scared to say it out loud. And so TikTok allowed me to be able to break in somehow, and it's just been so special.
Nice to hear.
That was
Sure, yeah, go for it.
So I do a lot of everything, and when I saw that like Marvel or these really awesome stunting movies were casting, I immediately throw up stunts. I throw up cosplays, I'm throwing up this, I'm throwing up this. If I see an opportunity out in the world, or I see like a casting call, it goes on my profile. Like I give them what they want. Hopefully it's gonna go viral enough so that production or that studio is going to see me and cast me next. So it's really about who you know and what you're seeing online and what you're doing about it. You have to create action in order to like actually do it. And so, yeah, you just gotta find the opportunities and go for it.
Totally. Robert, do you have a comment on this? What studios are looking for in collaborating with creators?
I think it just depends on what type of movie or show, whether it's reality or just something. So for me, it was a reality show that I did. So in my case, what they wanted was the authentic person that they saw, or the person that they saw on social media, because that's what they wanted to translate to the audience. Whether it was whoever the audience already was on the show, as well as the audience that I already had from social media, to make sure that they would actually watch the show as well. So in my case, otherwise, like acting where you may have to be another character, I had to be myself. So it made it look a little easier for me.
Totally. Awesome. So going more into the perspective of creators that are wanting to have careers, if you all, some advice I want to make sure that people hear is, say they're a creator and they want to work with a certain brand, they want to do a brand deal or they want to be cast in something, but they haven't gotten any outreach. What should they, as creators, do to get the brand's attention? Rachel, you mentioned a bit of what you would do, but any other thoughts of people, what should a creator do to work with the brand they've been working with?
Yeah, I remember before I did any brand deals, I would, one, reach out to a ton of brands all the time just to try and get like an exchange for a post, you know, without any sort of payment involved, but kind of make it seem like a brand deal just so that you have something to show people and anybody who's watching kind of gets the sense. And I think I even like would make what looked like brand deals for brands I had nothing to do with, just to like recommend a product or a brand to my followers. And yeah, and then a ton of outreach.
So I'm also a guest model, and that came about kind of different. They found me on social media. So you would not expect, you know, this really amazing established brand like Guest to be reaching out to a social media creator. But what did I do? I posted like I was a guest model. You know, I posted what they wanted. That is just me doing my thing. I was popping off. I was going viral. I was having fun. And they're like, okay, this girl is really authentic. She is doing her thing. Let's fly her out to Switzerland. Let's see what she's like in person. And then it's booked ever since. And so I feel like if you have that presence on social media and you have a specific brand in mind, I don't say change, but if you want to, you know, appeal to them, then try something that they would do, you know? Reach out for sure, maybe give them an idea, maybe be like, oh yeah, you like this product? I like this product. I can do something with this product, but it's gonna take a little something from you. So, I mean, yeah, it's gonna take a little something. So yeah, just appeal to them in your own fun, authentic way, and you'll get to it, for sure.
You know, I've always tried to do certain styles of videos where I think like this would be ideal for me to do with like with Uber or Lyft, but I try not to mention a lot of names, like specific names, because like my hope is that it's gonna land on the For You page of someone, yeah, at an agency or in the department, so that they can see like if I do something as a delivery driver or as a rideshare driver. For example, I want them to see like I could do something in the neighborhood too. So I really rely on doing things, and then like I try to do a lot of videos on like employment, like different job positions, and so that's also always like my videos. It's very like I want it to be funny, hopefully, but also I want it to be a little pitch to people because I think we all have learned that like there's so many people that that follow us that we don't even realize that they are connected somehow to a marketing agency or something. A lot of the times in those meetings it's like so someone like I don't know, Johnson & Johnson or something will say like this is in my family group chat, that's why we reached out. And so I feel like I'm always constantly trying to pitch. Especially like, they're like the one thing that I haven't done is Uber or like a delivery driver, and so that's something that I've been doing in the last like month or so. I threw in like a few videos there to try to get something that's similar. So in case Uber, or if you know someone at Uber, rent is due.
I'll add in, for me, what I do is I kind of like nudge whatever company I want to work with. So as cake artists, Oreo has so many different flavors, and I know I want to work with Oreo. So I made like 2 different cakes using different types of Oreos, and then we reach out to Oreo with like proof, like this is what I can do with your product, this is how well it does, and now like the past 2 years, every Christmas I do their national campaign now. So it's kind of like doing something and getting there. So, thank you, y'all.
Awesome. So the next stage of advice for creators here. Say a creator does get reached out from one of their favorite brands to do a deal, to do something. What should they make sure to ask for, or make sure is in the deal? What? Yes, money in the deal.
Actually, not always. If it's a brand that you really love and they're giving you something extraordinary, take that.
But then the second part here is, what should they also look out for, potentially, in doing deals like this? Any thoughts?
Oh, if it says perpetual or perpetuity, that's a no-no when it comes to rights or usage, things like that. Because for all you know, you might be Tom Cruise 2 years from now, and then that same video you made for Oreos, you know, is like on billboards across America all of a sudden. So it's really important to make sure that like usage, that there are campaign lengths and limits to the usage. Not to get into the weeds and stuff, but that's, you know.
People want details. Yeah, this is great.
Also, a lot of scams. I cannot tell you how many emails are in there that are scams, and they'll be like, yeah, just give me your bank account. I'm like, what? For what? No. So that is an automatic no. If it seems a little too good to be true, no. And I work with guests, and I get probably about 1,000 guest emails that I'm just like, let me give it to my person. Be like, is this authentic? And you can probably tell if it's not. So just be aware for scams, because they're everywhere.
What Ryan, Adam, was saying that, you know, when I do. No, a few years ago, when I first started, I got a brand deal, and I was down because I was still working at a different place, and I wasn't thinking about what I was talking about, and so to this day, like, I still haven't been able to take down that video because, and I got paid $50 on Cash App. It was, which like,
50 bucks?
50, yeah. Which, that's still good.
Money's money, man.
And, but it, like, to this day, I'm still like, bro, it's somewhere, like, it's right there. And it's for a ramen cooker. Somewhere, like, it was like, they sent me 3 ramen cookers and $50, which at that time was like,
That's a good deal, man.
I was like, an influencer. But no, to this day, like, I still can't take it down, and that sucks because there's other companies, of course, that, you know, and also, like, you know, you mentioned like exclusivity and stuff, because like, if I'm gonna do something with like Wendy's, I want to be able to do Burger King next year, you know, and it's like we should be able to take it down. Love both, but yeah.
Yeah, I'll mention just what he said at the end. In those contracts, make sure how long it is that you can't work with other brands. Because I'll work with one streaming service, and you want to make sure it doesn't say, 3 years you can't work with another one, maybe 2, 3, 6 months. But because that's going to block a lot of things that you can do, or different companies that you can work with depending on what kind of usage they have in that.
Really makes sense. So I think a fun question here is, what is your all's dream collaboration that you've not yet done? What is a company, a brand, or a type of opportunity that you're still hoping is down the road for you?
Marvel Studios.
What do you want to do in Marvel Studios?
Marvel Studios, man. I'm also a trampolinist, so I have a lot of tricks up my sleeve. Like, I was busting a move out at Snapchat yesterday, doing my little tiger tail. Yeah. So I've had a love for Marvel Studios since I was a child, and then I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna create some content and do the cosplays that their characters are, and hopefully it'll gain interest. But also I'm just doing it for fun, and then maybe they'll create a character out of me because of the type of content that I do. And so I also wanted to pitch a different character to one of these studios and be like, hey, there's this girl, me, who wants to be this character. What do you guys think? They'd be like, oh, perfect. Thank you so much. So hopefully one day that happens, but definitely Marvel Studios.
What's your character's power?
Ooh, come back to me in 5 seconds.
Will do. Dream collaborations. Who else?
Like Wonder Woman vibes.
Wonder
If you could give Wonder
Yeah.
Woman vibes, that is the superpower. Just a girl that can do it all. Rosie the Riveter, but Marvel style.
Love the idea.
Crickets.
So we've all worked with our.
Wow. Oh, am I the only one who's like,
I was-
here?
I was like, I'll work with other companies like Disney, but I would love to do something on their streaming service. So Disney. But I guess mine is Disney Plus, doing something on their actual streaming service. That's a collaboration.
What would you like to do?
My own show. That's the goal.
Sweet Impact, the show.
Jay, do you have something?
I mean, very much very similar. I think I would like to work with Disney. I think that'd be super cool. And even at the moment, we're actually meeting. We have to be too transparent with everything we're doing, but yeah, we're working on some shows.
Nice.
And I think that for me, that's like the thing is really obtainable at this moment. So I'm really kind of focused on that right now. But yeah, I think it's going to be great. I would like to do like a talk show. I think it'd be really cool. I think to have a talk show, something I really enjoy doing. I do a bunch of lives. I do a bunch of like hosting type of things online anyway, as it is right now. So it kind of fits what I'm doing. So that'd be a great dream job of mine to do. So
Awesome.
I like the way you just like, yeah, we're working on stuff.
yeah,
I
we're
love
doing it
that.
as we
Just
speak.
leave us hanging. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, more soon. Adam, do you have one?
I don't know if there's any brand specifically that I'm like, that I've got my sights set on, but similar to what Shay was saying, that got a couple shows that we're working on with a couple production companies. I sold a movie recently that I'm really excited about. I'm hoping to make that. Thank you. Yes, thank you. Yeah, just again, like I'm more concerned with blurring my worlds a little bit, merging the two.
I wanna have my own movie one day. I really wanna work with Conan O'Brien one day. He just like even staff, anything with Conan. But I would love to sell my own film or show, and I really want to produce other people's things that I'm not in. It's just a lot of people I'm a fan of that I would love to work with.
It's amazing.
So one more thing to add, I feel like this, for all the women in here, this is not brought up in any show or any TV show out there. Women in STEM and women being powerful and like hot women in science, what? Like a Pamela Anderson type vibe where she, Tool Time, where she is just breaking things, fixing cars, building houses. That is what I want. So if I could create a show based on that and show women that yes, you can do it all, that's what I create.
Amazing. And as far as the brands, I'm hearing a lot of Disney. I heard Disney, I heard Uber and Conan O'Brien. So if anyone has connections, let our people know. We can make it happen. Awesome. So I think we're in our last 10 minutes. I'd love to go into a Q&A. Don't think we have a mic set up in the middle, unfortunately. You can help. Okay. Let me. Could you grab one of your mics and pass it on to you?
I'll put this right out there for you guys.
Yeah, any questions? Great, so we can line up to the mic here. Thank you so much. Yeah, we gotta go to the mic, yeah, come through.
Over to the mic.
Hello.
Hi. Thank you so much for your panel. I just had kind of an observation in the first question. When you all described the different sets and stuff you were on, you said that it was really refreshing to be able to play yourself or a character based on yourself. I'm wondering, and Leo, you mentioned like you develop characters and you kind of have like these personas in mind, so it sounds like you're more acting focused. I was wondering, what do you think is the relationship between like formal acting and what you do?
Honestly, I'm probably the least experienced up here, so I'm trying to figure that out myself. Really, I think I'm learning a lot on these sets, and like I said, it's such a different thing than anything that I'm used to doing it by myself, and so I think I'm learning what the culture is that I had no idea. But I don't know, maybe.
Yeah. What, I'm sorry.
Sorry, what do you think?
Repeat the question.
No worries. What do you see as like the main differences between acting and being like like someone who's hired for their personality and they already know what you're bringing to the table? If you think there is one.
Yeah, I mean, I guess in the scenario where people are sort of plugged from social media to play a part in a movie or a TV show, where they're, playing, if it's something they're offered, it's usually because they're wanting them to play themselves. I would imagine that it's never happened to me. I would imagine that's got to be a little harder because you're probably playing like a heightened version of yourself in some way. For me, and it's probably why I gear towards, kind of playing a character in my videos on social media, because I feel more comfortable doing that than like being like, this is me, and this is me, I don't know why, but it's probably because I grew up playing characters. So that's just what's more comfortable for me. So it's sort of the same on both ends for me.
Awesome, thank you.
I have a little to say to that real quick. For me, I've done a few roles and then I've done reality TV. So they're pretty different. But girl, you can stay out here. Girl, you ain't gotta go nowhere. No, we love it. But I say practice makes perfect. If you want to be a script actor, start reading scripts. If you want to be a reality TV show actor, be authentic, be yourself. So I know so many actors and actresses who have just faked it till they made it, and they just got really good at their craft, and they can cry on command, they can do this role, they can, so practice makes perfect, and just go with the flow. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Awesome, thank you. I'll make sure we get to all questions. Hello.
Hi, my question is for Rachel, huge fan. It's a broad question intentionally, but having been in so many different spaces in entertainment
I know you, I don't know you. Who are you?
I'm Lauren from Getman.
Oh my God! Hi.
But my question is, again, broad intentionally. What do you think's next for creators?
Oh, just in general? Oh gosh, there's a lot out there. So, in general, I feel like if people and creators just keep going, then obviously, they're gonna get more viral, they're gonna get more popular, but if they want to break into the acting space, it's a little difficult, not even gonna lie, almost every single person has broken into this. I feel like if you know the right person, it's just gonna happen, but if you don't, hard work is the key. It really is. Like exactly what I just said before. If a creator wants to dive into this space, they need to do their practice. They need to go to these events and mix and and get to know the person who has the studio, get to know the person who's done this role and this role. Just ask them what they do. Every connection is so valuable. And so we're at our hotel, we're making connections every single day trying to get that role or trying to get that brand deal. And so I feel like if that creator is breaking out a little bit, that is key.
Awesome. Next question.
What's up, Leo? Can you see me? Show my mic on. Quick question for you. So, I follow you, and I think everything you do is really cool. Has it been different as a Latino going to the studios? Do they see you differently? Is it still the same struggle?
Not for me. I think that I think what I've felt on certain sets is that there wasn't a lot of Latinos that were acting on camera. What's always been great for me is being able to hang out with the crew, all the production staff that are Latinos. I think that's been so nice for me because I feel there's the last thing I did with Netflix was was really scary. But the security were all Latinos, the audio people, and that's really nice to have because they're all cheering for me, which takes away that fear. And so I think it would be different if I was, like more like pitching things or trying to be, ask for things. I think I'm still in a place like I'm just happy to be here, but the community is there that I need, and they've all been super supportive, and it's really nice to be able to go on there and be like, bro, I don't know what I'm doing. Like, you guys are used to like making movies and being behind the camera and everything, but it's nice for them to be like to talk about my TikToks and everything, and so no, I think for me it's been really nice, but I think obviously there are a bunch of social sanctions that I also adhere to because I can't just walk in, and I think naturally I feel very like sometimes I'm like, oh, I can't be too paisa, I can't be too this way, but I think that's almost everywhere, and I think once you get through that, I think you give yourself more credit, and you're just like, I'm just here to do my job. I'm not here to be like this like token, Mexican or do this. I want to do it. I want to do it well, and I want to make everybody laugh. I don't want it to be like, oh, only La Raza is gonna laugh. Like, I don't want that. I want everybody to laugh at and with my experience. And so I think it's going fine. I'll let you know though.
All right.
There's room.
You want to get some tacos?
I'm down. I'm down.
Awesome, let's get a few more questions in. Hello?
Hello, my name is Jackson Oakley, and I'm just wondering, what is your advice to get into like studios or industries when all you have is just a cheese like regular looking cam, not really a good setup, just you and a regular camera and all that? How would you get in the field and try to improve and find people like that?
What do you do?
I used to do miscellaneous content, but that's the algorithm didn't know which thing to go for. So afterwards, I am going to do strictly Resident Evil content.
Cool.
Yeah, and one of my hopeful dreams and goals in the future is make good live action Resident Evil movies.
Awesome. So, I mean, I don't know about anybody else, but I always tell people nowadays, there is no straighter line to getting the attention of studios and things like that than doing what we all do, create videos and keep creating videos and grow your audience and show people the things that you do and want to do. And that to me is the best way to get in front of anybody in the world.
Kind of like how Jeffrey Reddick followed me on Instagram, creator of Final Destination.
There you go.
Yeah, one of the things that I often tell people is so when I first started making content online, I had an iPhone 7. I had an iPhone 7, and to this day, in my entire life, my whole 35 years of life on Earth, I've never owned a computer. Not one. I just got a webcam a week ago. You know what I mean? I didn't have anything. Everything that I've done entirely from the most minimal amount of things. What really paid it off for me was consistency. Was just being able to I tell people it's like social media content consumption it's not a slow trickling river. It's a raging rapid. It's coming at you and coming at you fast. So just being able to post things consistently and have that patience with yourself and your art and your craft and your passion, whatever that may be. If it's Resident Evil, great. Put that out there over and over and over and over and over and over again. Once you build that base following foundation or that base subscriber or whatever platform that you're on, when you build that, that's going to help carry you forward. It's like a snowball effect, right? So, but let me be an example for that, right? Like I don't have a computer, I don't have any fancy equipment. I just do everything from my phone, and I've networked and helped people who've helped me along the way. Surely, I'm not entirely self-made in that sense, but I was able to make these connections, these networks, just by putting out consistent, good, authentic content. At the end of the day, what people are going to most be like drawn to you about is your authenticity. If you pretend to be someone else, pretend to be something else, not to say that your range can be restrictive, because it shouldn't be, but you need to be yourself. And so, and have fun while you do it.
Yeah, equipment doesn't matter, you know?
True.
You can film your videos on a potato. If they're good, people will respond to it. You know, it really doesn't matter.
Yeah. And joke question, who ate Adam's donuts?
Okay, it's a callback to one of my previous videos, and a good one, thank you.
Awesome. So unfortunately, we are at time now, sorry. But thank you so much to the panelists. This was an amazing conversation. We do have to wrap. But thank you so much for listening to our panelists.
Thank you. Y'all can message us your questions on the Instagram.
I hope you have a great rest of VidCon. Thank you for coming through. Awesome.
Oh, look, that's all I'm saying.
All right, right here, everybody. All right, 3, 2, 1. All right, one more time. 3, 2, 1. All right, thank you, everyone.
We're gonna be able to get that?
Yeah.
That's my daughter.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yes,
yeah. If you can hear email, then
yeah. Oh, yeah. I will. Thank you, man. One second.
Yeah, you're good. What you just got some last? I put my eyes down for 20 minutes and took a nap. I woke them on, I just don't care. Oh, RP Beauty?
12. Thank you, man. What's your name?
Zaheen.
Thank you. I busted my
I realized.
Yeah, thank you, man.
First of all, it is a lot of work. I didn't have the right to. Did you ever do any like film festivals?
Yeah.
I think, yeah, that's also where you start. It's 48-hour film, which is absolutely incredible. So start there, and then like, never give up. If this is your
You're literally standing like, no, I can see you. Like,
I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try to
If I hit someone, I will throw
or like your stunt coordinator or something, you know? So yeah, never give up. Like there's like Snapchat, there's TikTok, and then there's like Marvel.
Yeah, I want you, baby, so like swift July. You know, no chance that I'm leaving here without you. Yeah, I want you, baby, so like swim to the sky. That I even really let you hold me Thinking it's for another show. Got me now and I can't say no. Wanna be with you all day long. Yeah, like 50,
I was telling her as we were walking up, I've been following her for a little bit. One of my clients modeled with her at Miami Swim League was telling me.
This last time?
Yes.
Oh yeah, they
a few
were.
weeks
Yeah,
ago.
okay. I probably know who it is. Yeah.
Alexis Letty. She. I can show you.
I know who she is.
Yeah, I mentioned it to Rachel. Are you guys in LA?
We're in. We live in New Orleans.
Oh, you're still in Louisiana. Okay.
We're all over now. I mean, you know, we're going to New York a lot. We're going to Australia for a month and a half to go shoot a movie. We're going to freaking Canada. We're going to UK.
Amazing.
You know, I mean, we were going to get a place here, but we were all over. I mean, oh yeah, I know who she is.
Yes,
I've
she's
seen
a
her.
client of ours. We're about to have her do the new Deal or No Deal Island series.
You know who called? You know who the first person they called was supposed to do that? Oh yeah, she's not old enough. We had the lawyers.
When is she 21?
Next year.
Okay.
Look, first person. And we were with Howie about 6 months prior, and then is how we're gonna get this. Well, we can't tell you that yet, but we want you to.
Relationship with Howie, yeah.
Oh yeah. But then we were on there talking to the whole story. This was almost a year and a half ago now.
Oh, for the first season.
Oh yeah. Oh no, the original thing. One girl. I go, one girl. You're it.
This is your offer.
We got all the way to the point. It was
Closing the
2
room.
weeks into
Please
it.
kindly
Sitting
step
here, getting
outside
ready to sign
stage
the-
left.
and
Have a great evening.
it was like
Enjoy
a
the rest of your
silence
time.
fell over the
This room
crowd.
will now be closed.
We were going
in
like,
5 minutes.
wait, you're not
Night.
21? Because she doesn't portray a 20, people think like 25, 26.
Sure.
Some of them, I mean, some people are like, yeah, 28. 28, she's a kid. But she's very well spoken because she's been in front of people.
Yeah, knows exactly what she's doing.
You know, just doing her thing every day. And when you talk to them, remember what she said? Just practice and do it over and over. If you've never spoken to someone in your life and you stick somebody up there in front of 1,000, you could be 100,000.